Howdy y'all, today we'll be looking at IB Cricket, the game with the goal of producing realistic cricket play through virtual reality. As always, I like to give a bit of context on my experience with the sport before jumping into any of my opinions. I've never held or even swung a cricket bat before in life, and my exposure to the sport primarily comes through clips and breakdowns that I watch through Jomboy Media on YouTube. By the way, if you like baseball, cricket, or weird sports, please go check him out. One of the funniest guys in sports media in my opinion. Anyway, I have played baseball for several years of my life, so I do have some secondhand experience, but I think it's best to say that my takes will be as a cricket newbie coming into a VR sports game. Let's dive in. This game has been a slow grind for the developers ever since it came out in 2020. They released the game much like a tech startup in that they took one thing and did it really well. And in the past couple of years, they have been adding the necessary additional pieces to make it feel like a full-fledged experience. Because of this, the physics systems around the batting especially is robust and feels very precise versus many other sports games that I've played in VR. I want to break this down into three major components: batting, bowling, and fielding. The bat itself has different contact types based on where the ball makes contact with the bat. The handle and upper part of the bat near the handle are more dense and don't allow the bat to flex enough to give a perfect slapping shot. The sweet spot in the middle is perfect for driving the ball high and far and allows you to perfect your shots, while the very end of the bat returns to that dense feeling. No matter where you end up hitting it along the bat, the shank shots off the edge travel as you would expect them to in real life, and they vary depending on the level of the shank. The batting is really top notch, and if you find yourself struggling with just the normal bat size, you're able to add up to 100% bat shield to increase the width of your bat. I generally find myself using 0 to 20% depending on my mood. Bowling, as it stands right now, is done automatically, so the game's primary focus is still on the batting. However, the devs have recently released a beta version of the user bowling that has so far proven to be a big success among the user base, and has very recently allowed users to play against one another with one person bowling and the other batting, alternating. User bowling depends on your run-up timing, the release angle, and of course the speed of your throw. I'm excited to see this come to life more and more, but for now I'll go back to talking about the AI bowling. AI bowling is pretty diverse with all types of speeds, spins, and trick throws able to be bowled at you with varying levels of difficulty from very easy up to very hard. While fielding is a major portion of cricket play, it will be entirely handled automatically by the AI. Points will be given based on how fast and how far the ball is fielded from the wickets. Generally, you'll be getting a lot of 1 and 4 pointers, as the 2 and 3 pointers usually depend on perfect place shots or just mistakes from the fielder. This game opens up to a superbly built tutorial with videos, interactive gameplay, and voiceover, so that even if you've never played or watched cricket before, you can figure out exactly what you were doing. Honestly, it may be the best gameplay tutorial I've seen in VR to date. Only gripe that I have is I would like to see a more detailed understanding of super runs done by the commentator, have the gems, which is the in-game currency used to purchase a super cheap stadium or a skin to get people used to using them, and a tour of the PvP when entering the multiplayer options. These are minor improvements to a stellar system, so don't think of these as negatives. Once you've completed the tutorial, you open up to a menu with a vast array of options. You can customize your bat and game settings to be perfect to your style of play, get training under the coaching tab, play PvP against your friends or people online, enter tournaments, practice your bowling while it's in beta, and then the highlight of the menu, joining the single player campaign. Something to iterate here is that the game's primary focus at the moment is batting, and so your progression in either training, tournament play, or campaign mode is dependent on your ability to win points, protect your wickets, and precision with where you launch the ball. I say this because I think new players to this game will be under the impression that you swap between batting and bowling, but this is not the case in single player. In order to progress in the campaign mode, you are offered different levels of achievements to get. For instance, in one of the rounds, your goal is to get 25 points minimum, hit 3 4-pointers, hit 3 1-pointers, and get 2 4-pointers in a row. Usually this may coincide with a more difficult bowling as time goes on. Along the way, you earn gems to buy new bat decals and stadiums to play in. I hope they are able to add AI batters into the game soon to give you some additional variety of gameplay and bowling practice. Due to the style of one-player mode, my suggestion is to first start in the coaching section, where the game will grade you not only on shot type and distance, but also on key items that will improve your gameplay, such as keeping your eye on the ball, having a steady gaze, and hitting the sweet spot of your bat. Go through one of each of the main 3 sections presented, and then you'll be ready to take on the single-player game and give yourself a chance against others online. The multiplayer experience is handled in 2 primary ways: tournaments and PvP. Tournaments call back to the skills learned in single player as you play single player batting against an AI bowler to score the best you can in a stadium environment. From there, the top threshold will get moved on to a next round, with similar rules applying until a winner has been decided. This is decided over weeks at a time, and it's a fun way to just play the game without a goal of hitting in a particular area or at a certain speed like the campaign. PvP players allow you to create a public or private room and then play with either friends or other public lobby players. Both times that I tried to get a game going from within the game, I did not see any public lobbies available, nor did anyone join the ones I created. From that angle, it may be a bit hard to tell you exactly how the systems work internally, but I do wish that they added a general matchmaking option to get paired with other players, kind of one-off so I don't have to pick rooms. One thing to note is that this game is much more populated during European and Asian convenient time zones, whereas I was playing in a convenient American time zone, which might explain the lower numbers. Steam seems to only top out about 20 or so users at a given time, so I would assume we would see at least triple that for meta standalone headset usage. The best thing about PvP, however, is that you actually get to swap between bowling and batting to really make this a full experience of a game. IB Cricket is one of the more expensive sports experiences on VR at $30 USD, but the quality of the physics, graphics, and potential roadmap items for their active development team make it a worthwhile purchase for fans of either cricket as a whole or VR sports experiences. The single player is a fun experience in batting, and even if you get tired of the campaign experience, you're always able to play in tournaments to benefit your competitive edge, or try out the beta bowling experience to get something new to work on. For standalone headset users, the game works seamlessly. For PC VR users, I did have some issues with frame drops on pivotal batting moments when the ball was bouncing during the bowl. Although this may have been just a thing with my own computer, I have a pretty decent rig. Luckily, there is an IB Cricket demo that you can download to try it out on your own before buying, and I really highly suggest doing this as the demo is honestly pretty solid and is a good look at what the full game will give you. I really do suggest this for cricket lovers, and I really do suggest subscribing to this channel for all human people. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate your time and viewership. If you would like to join the community, I host monthly VR tournaments and community nights in my Discord. I would love for you to stop by, say hi, and get involved. On top of that, we are always talking about new news and events in social and casual sport VR. I look forward to seeing you around.